and Reed Mayberry and Jeff Keating both set career highs. I mean, both seniors as well. Reed Mayberry set career high in goals and points. He tallied 7 goals and assists. Keating with 9 points was a career high, and he finished the day with 4 goals and 5 assists.
And TJ and I will take the break and step aside. We'll be back with the start of the second half. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio. Welcome back to Kerr Stadium. Taking a look back at our keys to the game in this one. CJ, our first key for Roanoke was to stay healthy. Really not much more to say than that. We haven't seen anybody leave with an injury, so that's always a good sign. And even, looks like the rain for the most part has stopped here in Salem. Obviously, it'll probably continue later. Looking at the Weather Channel earlier on. So we'll see what happens. As this game gets into its second half, the field turf, though, will still be a little bit wet, as it's not something that's going to shower with this humidity and temperature. Our second key, it's actually taking us right up into that, was playing in the rain. We've seen some passes go aired. We've seen Guilford slip. It took them off sides. That gave Roanoke a man-up opportunity. Guilford was able to kill, but still something that has to be in the back of the players' minds.
Oh, yeah, you got to stay safe and aware while playing in the rain. We haven't seen anyone roll their ankle too bad or any of that sort of situation, which is good. So everyone's staying pretty safe, but being aware of where you are on the field and how you can move on the field is kind of hurting both teams. So we saw the offsides penalty. We've seen a couple missed drops, unforced errors. The ball's rolling out of bounds on simple passes. And even in situations where they have to handle it inside in traffic, it's difficult for both teams to do. So, playing in the rain, you've got to be aware where you are. And field awareness, I think we've seen twice those 2 goals, fast breaks from Keating to Mayberry in the first quarter on the right side of the field over here. That was definitely key for field awareness, and we can see how great of a player Keating is with his field awareness on the field, able to pick out Mayberry in between all those players, and he was just wide open right on the crease.
Our last key was going to be Roanoke's freshman with an 8-goal lead. Maybe not something Coach Pallett wants to go to here at the start of the second quarter. As Hugh McNeely out to take the draw. The only freshman that really had an impact in that first quarter was Max Satowski. Although we did see Wes Pencoast on the defensive end. He played well, as he has all season. Really a benefit for Coach Pallett. Even now having Littner back, they have a lot of options at long stick midfield as well as close defense. As Geary chasing down the faceoff along the far side as he's hacked out and bumped. Delayed call comes, rather a play on call comes, and a loose ball push. Now they're going to say the ball went out of bounds. Last touch by Roanoke. Possession now will go to Guilford. As the Quakers will own the first offensive possession of the second half here in the third quarter, 13 seconds in. As they loft to the near side for Evan Sylvia. Sylvia races ahead across midfield. Tried to feed a pass inside. It's taken on the run by Nick Mann. Mann feeds it for Nash in the near alley. Nash checked that by Eric DeLong as he moves down behind the net. Nash up the far side. Feeds it out in the far alley. Further towards the top for Nick Mann. Mann along now for Chris Sisk. Sisk cutting on the right side. Checked that by Ingold. Feeds behind the net for Nash. Nash back out in front. That one comes all the way through. Down towards Guilford's defensive end. Quakers able to take the ground ball on the run and quickly feed it back over the line for Kyle Smith. Guilford's Kyle Smith checked that from behind. A couple nice checks thrown by Geary. And Smith able to protect the stick. A stalling call on here against Guilford. Here to start out the second half. Just over a minute in. Guilford told to have to keep it in the box. As the Quakers unable to field the pass behind the net. Guilford digging at the ground ball. Hardan out of his net. He'll take it. Hardan sidesteps one man. Feeds it ahead as Geary reaches up and grabs this one.
And I mentioned earlier about we questioned Hardan's ability to clear early in the season when he took the starting position. I mean, he's proven himself. I mean, that was a clear example. Comes out very comfortable around the other attackmen, their opponents, and did a great job at clearing that ball.
As McNeely with it at the top, able to find Lachlan. Out to provide some help. Roanoke up 11-3 here early in the third quarter. As Mike Hayden has it at the top. Gets a touch in the top left corner.
Very deliberate touch right there, not trying to get that failure to advance penalty.
As he rolls it for Connor Dubois coming out of the box. Roanoke midfield unit getting set up. Top line out of Dubois, Parsons, and Mike Hayden. Roanoke goes for Reem Mayberry along the far side. Out now to Hayden at the top. Hayden back on the right side for Spencer Parsons. Parsons racing in. He stood up there. But protect the stick. Feed out to the top for Connor Dubois. To the near side, it's Keating. Goal line extended for Lachlan. Lachlan trying to back his man down in close with a shot and a save made by Dean. But to pop that one up high and out of bounds along the far side. Possession will go to Reed Mayberry. But now the official escorting Spencer Parsons off. Parsons headed off very gingerly. Kyle Smith comes out to replace him. We'll see what the word is on Parsons. CJ, I didn't see anything happen behind that play. Did you happen to catch something?
No, not me either. I saw the shot go behind. I was watching to see who got the possession. Not really sure what's happening at the top of the box.
As that pass fed all the way through, unable to connect with Lachlan. Hayden able to back his man down as Kyle Smith comes up with it. Hayden looking for a flag after he was run through trying to set a pick. As Dubois cuts inside, finds Hayden on the right wing. Hayden steps in, shoots one. He sent that one high and wide. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Parsons got cut on the play. And the official was just escorting him off to get him taped up. As Parsons still on his feet on the sideline with the trainer around him. As at the top, Connor Dubois takes it. Under 12 minutes to go in the third quarter. Roanoke up by 8 as Dubois draws the slide. Feeds it for Smith at the top. Smith rolls back towards his right hand, protects the stick, goes down low for Lachlan. As he tried to collect the penalty and turn, he lost it. Guilford comes up with the ground ball. The Quakers will look to start back up the other way. Moving through the middle, it's Austin West. He comes towards the near side, takes a shoulder from Kyle Smith, who forces the issue. Passes that one right to Eric DeLong. DeLong takes an ice pick check. I didn't know those were still legal, as he feeds that one ahead for Mike Hayden.
I think they're still legal, but as soon as you go for one, the refs put their hand on their waist.
They're just waiting for it. In front, Lachlan, the shot, he scores. As Lachlan turns and able to dump that one down low. His third goal of the night. His 38th of the season. Lachlan continuing his bid for 40 goals. That'll make it 12-3, 11:24 to go in the third. Lachlan another tally. Hayden will draw the assist on Lachlan's 38th. We're back in high school being a long stick. I used to like to go with the Indian check. Got that confused for an ice pick by way too many officials. No matter how hard I would argue it, they'd still tell me it was an ice pick and still tell me I couldn't do it. So Toski at the faceoff X tied up. Guilford just kicks this one ahead. It's taken by Pancoast at the edge of his box. Pancoast turns, dumps this one for Hardan behind the net. Hardan using his height to get to that pass. Hardan taking the checks. Looks to give it up. Now sends this one out for Nislak. A one-handed catch made, but we have a flag down behind the play. As I believe it's going to be against Hardan. As I want to say he turned back, and he did, and he slashed the Guilford Quaker that had been going after him.
And the goalie is in the penalty box.
Oh, in the penalty box. Peace will come in. That's why you never retaliate.
Well, not a big deal for Roanoke because Peace has been playing pretty well today, too.
Being the oldest child, Mom always said, I'm going to catch you. And she always did. The little brother never gets in trouble. It's when the big brother tries to do something
I know,
about
I'm the
it.
oldest. I get it. I know.
As Hardan got caught. He'll sit for 60 seconds for slashing. Guilford man up going to work for the first time today. Roanoke being very aggressive, trying to disrupt the Quakers' man-up offense as Nash feeds a pass behind the net. Pass out towards the top, an outside shot, and they score. It's Teodosio able to strike on the man up. His 19th goal of the season. And 7th man-up tally.
Just a slow slide from the Roanoke defender trying to get to him. It doesn't look like he was on point ready for that pass. And Teodosio just steps in and shoots it. True midi shot, just stepping and taking it from the outside of the box by the junior.
After Hardan's penalty has released, Peace still remains in net. As Guilford able to win the draw at the edge of the box, they come up with it. Longstick trying to walk all the way in. He's checked from behind and lost it. And play on crease call comes as Roanoke outlets for Braden Geary, who races up the right side. Geary across midfield, feeds it in the middle now for Mike Hayden. Hayden steps in, goes to the left side, goes down low. Keating in with a shot, and he sent that one wide. Keating really not much of an angle, tried to fake low and tuck it back high. But Dean really stood his ground.
So Peace is still in that. Do you think Pilot's going to bring Harden back out? He's just talking to him, or do you think Peace is actually in for this quarter?
I honestly have no idea.
Well, you can never tell a Pilot.
Pilot has blown most minds this year with his goalies. Normally you see half and half. Pilot has taken advantage of the fact that one's a righty, one's a lefty. They each bring different things to the table, and the benefit he has is he has two very high-quality starting goalies.
Oh, definitely. If they didn't have one, they would still be the same team today because they're both really good in that.
Let's fed out to the near side for Joey Coretti, who's in the game. Coretti's feed down low on a bounce taken by Keating. Goes back down low. Coretti out in front with a bounce shot. He scores. Coretti getting his first since the Virginia Wesleyan contest.
Coretti and Keating just kind of passing it back and forth that one, almost making a circle. Great job by Keating getting that feed to Coretti, and great job by Coretti getting that dodge in right on the crease and getting open.
As the two essentially traded places, Coretti's defender really didn't stay with him as Hutkins kind of got caught watching Keating.
Well, your head's got to be on a swivel when you're on defense. You can't be watching the ball, the person with the ball the whole time, and that's exactly what Coretti's defender was doing, just caught flat-footed watching the ball.
Satoski pries this one ahead. He comes up with a face-off win. Feeds the near side for Keating. Steps in, goes down low. Coretti, no angle with a shot sent wide. Rebound, they score. There's a cross-crease feed for Rich Lachlan. No, Reed Mayberry buries that one.
Trying to break his previous career high.
Mayberry was 6.
Yeah, almost looked like a shot, too, and it was just a typical fast break right to Reed Mayberry. I mean, Dean was fooled as well as we were.
There's Coretti getting the assist on Mayberry's 29th. Mayberry now going for 40. As Roanoke in another bit of a luxurious spot, having Coretti back. They have 4 attackmen who are just about within 30 goals, and Mayberry gets one more today. As Keating with an outside chance, and he sent that one wide. Looked like it either went off iron or Dean in front.
No, great save by Dean, top left. That was going straight top left. If he didn't make that save, that would have been an amazing goal.
It was going to get tucked right up in there. Great save made by the freshman goalkeeper. As Mayberry brings it in from the bottom right corner. Looked to feed in front, found nothing. Got a pick from Keating, now rolls back towards the far side. Mayberry has Smith cutting inside. He couldn't find it. Mayberry turns, fires one, sent that one low and wide of the net. Backed up in the play by Keating. Possession to stay with the Maroons, who are up 10. 9:18 to go here in the third quarter. Roanoke able to cycle this one out to the top as Nislek dodges to the right. Got bumped, fed it behind. The near side it comes for Jeff Keating. Behind the net, feeds it out towards the top for Kyle Smith. Smith dodges through traffic, protects the stick, holds it, now shovels it for Nislek. To the near side now is Will Carter. Unable to handle the pass, scoops it up off the wet turf. Carter back on the right side for Nislek. As Keating with it, back to the top. Carter feeds it all the way out to the point for Nislek. He's going to take his man. Nislek comes in, absorbs the check, crosses over, moving back towards the right side. Nislek feeds this one down low. Pass was blocked. As coming up with that one is Reed Mayberry. Through Nislek now for Carter. Carter sitting with it just outside the box. He's joined by Kyle Smith. Guilford looks at trying to face dodge Smith or just play tight defense. Trying to throw the over-the-top check there was Tellis. He couldn't connect. Carter goes in, sends it behind the net for Keating. He'll look to feed. Keating is defender in a stalemate, other side of the crease. Quick stick out in front. That went off. Looked like the back of Dean almost.
We saw that last play. It almost looked like they were trying the hidden ball trick because you could see Keating was right behind the net, ready to make his move to either the right or the left side of the net. But the defenders played him right outside the perimeter really aggressively, and they were not able to do the play.
As we have a whistle. And a timeout taken by Guilford. The Quakers with an offensive possession here in the third quarter. Going to talk things over. 14-4 your score. Number 9 Roanoke leading Guilford here in Southwest Virginia. 7:55 to go in the third. We'll step aside. Be back after this. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio.
Don't settle for bar food at a sports bar. Watch the game on a big screen and eat great food at a sports cafe. All Sports Cafe with 30 screens of sports and the best food around. Say no to bar food and yes to great food at All Sports Cafe in Roanoke and Salem.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium. Roanoke has gotten a good bit of production out of their attack today. 12 goals coming from 4 attackmen. As Mayberry leading the pack, he's got 6. Lachlan with 3. Keating with 2. And then Coretti with 1. CJ Reed Mayberry has played so well against Randolph-Macon in the first half of this game. And now you're adding Joey Coretti back into the equation. Coretti was on a tear. He scored 6 goals in 2 straight games, was named ODAC Player of the Week, and then went down hurt at Virginia Wesleyan. That's got to be tough for Coach Pilot, or really easy depending on how you look at it as to what 3 you go with.
I mean, that definitely, they're all playing amazing. You just got to find the right combination of the 3 to go into this postseason with. I mean, you're right, Mayberry has had a great game today as well as last game, almost trying to set his career high record of points again.
Something we'll definitely talk to Coach Pilot about when he comes up for the postgame show. The benefit is that Roanoke has a week and a half to really work it in practice and see, because Coretti had mixed so well with the other 2, and now you have Mayberry stepping into the equation, and he's mixed well. We'll see what happens as Roanoke able to knock the ball from the defensive end. Jimmy McNeely up with it. McNeely racing ahead, has Ingold ahead of the play. McNeely protecting his stake, now crosses over through midfield. McNeely feeds it down the near side. It's taken here by Jeff Keating. The senior will pull things down as he looks it over. 7:15 to go in the third quarter. Roanoke up 14-4. With you at Kerr Stadium in Salem, Nick DeSanctis and TJ Kemper. Roanoke using their third midi line of Ryan Brewer, Seth Fortman, and Will Merritt. All freshmen. They've combined for 4 goals this season. The near side, it's Ryan Brewer. Brewer goes down low for Jeff Keating. Chad Smith has checked in on attack as well for the Maroons. Joined on the top unit by Mayberry and Keating. Keating with it behind the net. Looking things over. Shouting out orders. Under 7 minutes to go. Clock down to 6:35 of the third. As Seth Fortman with it along the right side. Fortman back to the top for Will Merritt. As Merritt takes this one down low. Gives it up for Keating behind the net. Looking things over. Keating goal line extended. Feeds a pass out to the top. As Brewer is checked at. Guilford up with the ground ball. The Quakers will look to move ahead. It's Tyler Class. Class feeds a pass up the left side. That one off one Quaker stick. Guilford saves it as man goes tumbling into the bench. Guilford then up with the ground ball in play before that one's knocked free again. Continue to dig for it. And Class has it in traffic down the left side before Paco was able to knock it free. Continue to dig. Paco turned up with it. He ended up shoveling it behind his net. Peace out after it. Peace launches to the near side for Kyle Haggins. Haggins, the junior. Feeds Peace in the middle. Peace protects the stick. Checked that from behind. Able to get the pass away. As it's taken in traffic by Brewer up the right side. A successful clear for the Maroons as Brewer gives it up for Reed Mayberry. Mayberry 1 goal away from his career high. Let's to the top. It's Seth Fortman. Goes down the near side for Jeff Keating. Looking back up for Fortman at the top. Keating out to the top now for Carter. As Carter steps in, gets a touch. The freshman, part of Roanoke's second midfield unit. Maroons have made some changes, but Carter not out with his typical mates. Behind the net, tries to dodge up towards the near side. He's ridden away, looks to feed in front. Finds Chad Smith, who was unable to collect the pass. Coming up with the ground ball was Tellis. He'll race ahead. Rather, it's Austin West with great speed and an outshot. He sent that one wide of the net. Trent Evans with incredible legs. Going from restraining line to restraining line in a very short amount of time.
Oh, definitely. He made that fast break himself just with his legs, and he almost got a pretty good goal because that was a great shot on goal.
As Chad Smith moving, sends that one up the right wing alley. As Roanoke will carry down behind the net. 4:25 to go in this one. Roanoke up 10, 14-4. Your score is Fortman. Comes up, feeds it out towards the top. Now taken by Carter. Down the right side, it's Reed Mayberry. Through pass now for Keating was in his shoes. Just shovels it out to the top for Carter. Again down the right side, it's Mayberry. Mayberry driving in. Now rolls back towards the outside as he finds Fortman. Goes for Carter. Roanoke offense will look to shift to some sort of a 2-2-2. Here with under 4 minutes to go. Will Merritt takes it at the top from Carter. As Merritt steps in, goes behind the net on the near side. Sent across for Reed Mayberry. Mayberry looking to feed in front, but we have a whistle, an illegal screen called against the Maroons. That one coming inside, I believe, against Mayberry. as he and Chad Smith tried to pick off each other in close.
That's interesting. We don't usually see that 2-2-2 formation from Roanoke. I mean, on the last offensive possession, we saw 4-1-1, which is even more unusual.
There's a great check thrown by Doobie, able to knock the stick clean out of the hands of Sylvia. So we'll see what Roanoke goes with here as they try and work on the fast break. Down low, Chad Smith with a shot. He scores. The freshman getting his third goal of the season. As that play started all the way at midfield with Jeff Doobie and his great check. Roanoke up 11 now, 15-4. 3:30 to go in the third quarter.
We talked about, the depth of Roanoke before, and Chad Smith, the true freshman attackman, I mean, he's able to get the ball, and the patience that he has is unusually good for this kid. I mean, he takes the ball, he gets it. I mean, usually someone would shoot right away. He gets 2 fakes in and totally fools the goalie and gets a good shot. And a great goal by the freshman.
As Roanoke comes up with a face-off one, moving with this one is Spencer Parsons. He's back after getting checked out by the trainer. As Parsons races down the near side. Pass back out in front, hoping for Smith from Keating. Eludes him as Smith was checked when he went to bring that one and pass back behind the net, hoping for Dean. Escapes him and goes out of bounds. Possession will go right back to Roanoke. Dean slowly trying to make his way back to the crease, buying as much time as possible for his team to get set up. Official whistles play in again. Roanoke gets it out to the top for Connor Dubois. Dubois, Hayden, and Parsons back out. Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Roanoke up 15-4. Parsons drives through the middle. Came out to the restraining line. Now sends it behind the net for Keating. Keating comes up the near side. Quick shot. And he sent that one high and wide. It looks like almost with one hand just tried to put that one in the top corner.
Yeah, it was a great move. I thought he was going to pass it out to the freshman Chad Smith, who got the most recent goal. But, I mean, he split the defenders, came right in, the shot right over the crossbars.
As Dubois stutters at the top, continues to drive down the right side. Dubois stood up, got around his man on his left hand, took a shot, and he put that one on the side of the net. Really nice move by Dubois. Good field awareness, too, to know that defender wasn't on his back. Rather than stay on his right hand with no angle, he could switch back to his left. And it really is going to gain you a good bit of room.
Oh yeah, you got a great angle when you switch to your left hand, and plus he knew exactly when to switch because you only have a moment to shoot in the lefty position. Before that defender comes down with that death check.
Well, and the other thing is too, you're racing down the right side. You're going to run out of an angle pretty quick. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Roanoke up 11 clock at 1:55. Moving for Guilford is Chris Sisk. Sisk goes out to the top. For it's fed on the left side. Teodosio moving with it. He's bumped at by Hayden, who takes him to the ground. Teodosio still able to get a pass away. The officials reaching for their flags. 2 come out. Delayed call now coming up against Roanoke. Guilford carries behind the net for Sisk. Sisk feeds up the near side for Nash. Goal scorer for Guilford. As they'll work it back down low. Trying to come up the far side. This is Teodosio. Teodosio feeds it out outside. Chance sent wide of the net as another flag comes in.
Was there 4 flags on the field, Nick? I think the first one. I think
5 of them.
Both of them maybe either slashing or unnecessary roughness for both of them. And we were just talking about how well Roanoke was doing at fixing their mistakes. Randolph Macon game. With all of their penalties. They did a great job up until this third quarter with 1 minute 13 left.
So there's 2 fouls in the play. First is a slashing call. And I believe both are against Hayden. He's the only one on a knee in the penalty box. So it's going to be 2 minutes of penalties on Hayden. One is a slashing call. That's 60 seconds. The other, illegal body check. The official signaled full time. So 1 minute for illegal body check against Hayden. That penalty will be served first because it is the non-releasable. So up until 13 seconds to go in the third, Guilford will be a man up. After that penalty, Hayden is then serving the slashing call, which will result in carryover time if they don't carry. It is a 3-minute non-releasable. Okay, so 2 minutes of illegal body check, 1 minute for slashing. So Guilford working the men up. They'll have 3 total minutes of time to work. 2 of non-releasable. As it's fed back towards the near side for Nash. as Guilford goes behind the net. They try and feed it out towards the top. Roanoke being very aggressive as Nash from the near side pulls the trigger and he scores. As Nash cuts the lead back to 10 with 45 seconds left.
Quaker's not even really running a play there, just using the traditional concept that if you on man up, you pass the ball fast enough, you're going to get an open man eventually because that defense can't slide as fast as you could pass the ball around.
Satoski will go down the face-off. Looks like Connor Dubois would be the hot man for the Maroons on the near side. As the officials talking something over. Reiterating to the scores table, a non-releasable penalty is served before the releasable penalty. As Satoski able to come up with the face-off win. 40 seconds left here in the third quarter. As Satoski moving through traffic gives it up for Connor Dubois. Satoski and Geary will both head off. 30 seconds left. If Roanoke can hold it here for these final 30, they'll start with it in the fourth. As Dubois racing through behind the net. 2 men on him. Dubois tried to send a pass that it was picked off. Guilford lost it, kept it in bounds right to Kyle Smith. And Smith moves out towards the top. 10 seconds to go. Smith steps in, has a touch. Tried to give that one up for Connor Dubois. It was out of his reach. Then 2 flags come in as Smith is laid out on the play. The horn sounds. The penalty call will be made at the end of the period, so I believe Roanoke will then start with it in the fourth quarter. TJ now step aside as the officials get the calls figured out. 15-5 your score. We've played 45 minutes of lacrosse here at Donald J. Kerr Stadium, and Roanoke is up 10. You listen to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio. We'll be back with the fourth quarter coming up next.
Roanoke College. Timeless and true. Smart and solid. Practical and professional. Making discoveries about yesterday. Creating visions for tomorrow. Lifted by a winning college spirit. Forging lifetime friendships with professors who prepare you for a place at the head of an operating table or another bright future. Roanoke College. Classic for tomorrow.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium. Still waiting on the call that ended the third quarter. We'll try and get that one for you as soon as it becomes available. Taking a look at our stats through 45 minutes. Roanoke out shooting Guilford 39-20. Individually, Roanoke letting goals by Reed Mayberry today. He has 6, meaning 13 over his last 2 games. Lachlan with 3, and Jeff Keating with 2. A goal for Paco, Coretti, Chad Smith, and Kyle Smith. Both Smiths tallying for the Maroons today. Charlie Peace has allowed 4 goals, making 3 saves. 2 of those goals coming on the man up, while Hardan allowed 1 goal, making no saves in net. For Guilford, Ian Parker has 2 goals, a goal then for Teodosio, Greg Nash, and Ashcroft. Looks like we will begin with a face-off here in the fourth quarter. There's a Quaker on a knee in the penalty box. Still no word on what the foul was. Satoski will go down the draw for the Maroons. Geary and Dubois are the wings. As off the face-off, Satoski stood his man up as a 1-minute unnecessary roughing penalty was assessed to Hulett, meaning each team will play a man down for 60 seconds to start here. As that one goes out of bounds, last touch in the play by Guilford. Possession now to the Maroons as Roanoke will get a horn and look to make changes. Dubois will start with it from the near alley as teams are even. 45 seconds left to go on the penalty to Hulett. Still quite a bit of time on Hayden's 3 minutes worth of personal fouls. As Parsons with it at the top. 25 seconds in to the fourth quarter. as Parsons moves down low. Sitting back behind the net, 20 seconds left to go. As Parsons tries to come up, under 20 seconds now left on the even strength chance before Roanoke goes back to the man down. The ball moving down the near alley, 10 seconds left on the penalty to Hulette. The ball crosses over, races up the near side, fakes the feet out in front, now feeds it all the way across for Chad Smith. No angle, goes down behind the net. Penalty has released. The Maroons now a man down. Send it out in the left wing alley. It's taken there by Rich Lachlan. Lachlan back behind the net for Chad Smith. Gary the long stick out in the offensive set. And Roanoke just trying to kill the penalty. Smith's defender slips. Smith cuts towards the front on his left hand, kicks it out. Parsons steps in, fakes the shot, dodges on the right side with an angle shot, and he sent that one just high. I mentioned Geary in the offensive set. Really a benefit to have a long stick that can move the ball as well as Geary can. Because in a situation like this, when you're a man down, makes it easy to get the long stick back. As now Geary will head off. Guilford really not double teaming. So Hayden will come on in favor of Geary. Rather, we're going to bring Kyle Smith on. Still time on Hayden's penalty. As now a flag comes in. Smith had lost the ball, picked it back up. The officials blow the play dead as Hayden exits the penalty box. Now Roanoke will have a chance at the man up. The possession, rather the penalty is going to be against West. I believe it's going to be a push with possession. And it is. Roanoke will have 30 seconds of man up time to work here on Guilford. Look to extend their lead up to 11. Roanoke has 3 extra man goals today. As the Maroons will work it around. Keating to the near side for Hayden. Goal extended for Mayberry. Mayberry with 6 goals. Career high of 7. As Hayden turns back, gives it up for Mayberry. He wanted to tee a shot up. Instead, fed it further. Roanoke works it down the far side. Now behind the net for Jeff Keating. Keating looks, comes to Reed Mayberry on the near side. Back out towards the top. They fake the hidden ball trick. Hayden moving down low. Sends it in front for Keating with a shot. He scores. Keating getting his 3rd goal of the night. 36th tally of the season. And Roanoke now up 16-5. As we go back now, let's take a look at the replay. Roanoke was able to feed it up to the top. You saw Roanoke getting set for it as Hayden faked the flip, and nobody picked up Keating in front. They would just take the pass and beat Dean top right.
The hidden ball trick works every time. Even Connor Dubois was on the other side without the ball. Didn't even really sell it. The play still worked perfect. Great goal by Keating.
Now Satowski comes up with a face-off win. Gives it up for Geary on the near side. Pass was behind him, and it'll trickle out of bounds along the near wing with 12:35 to go. Here in the 4th quarter, Guilford will get it back. Roanoke has brought in their young attack unit of Dominic Guernsey, Colin Rosano, and Chris Duran. No changes on defense as it's still Pancoast, Paco, and Geary. As in the middle, Dean crosses over the restraining line. Dean looking things over. As a pass sent up the right wing from a long stick. As Guilford in and gets a touch. Quakers with good speed as they send this one behind the net. 12:15 to go here in the 4th quarter. As Guilford goes out to the top for Clausen. Clausen's pass down the right side. Guilford trails by 11 with 12 minutes to go in this one. Just putting on the brakes. Out the near side is Nick Mann. Mann comes up, goal line extended again. Bumped from behind by Jimmy McNeely. Mann feeds it up the far side. Nash turns free. Moving out towards the top. Gives this one up for Clausen. Clausen for Tellis. Tellis, goal line extended. Worked on by Brian Ingold. As Tellis moves through X, 11:30 to go. Feeds it out the top for Nash. Nash switching hands left to right. On his right hand, sends it down the right side. TJ, with the impatience of these officials today, I'm surprised we didn't see a stalling call there come up against Guilford as Roanoke's able to knock the ball free. McNeely comes up with the ground ball.
There's a couple times where possession went a minute or so. I was expecting a call because even the first minute of the first quarter, Roanoke got a keep it in call.
as Guernsey tried to feed that one down low. It went off a stick, deflected right in on Dean. He'll start up the clear as he sends it up the right wing. Pass to the midfield. Taken on the run. As Guilford will cut in behind the net. Feed to the near side for Nash. Nash now Clausen. Back for Nash. Guilford's pass down to the top for Chris Sisk. Cutting down the right side is Farley. Farley with an outside chance. He bounced that one wide.
The main difference between these two offenses is as Farley cut down the far side of the field, you didn't see any other Guilford offensive players really moving their feet too much. They were kind of walking around, a couple of them jogging, but the difference is Roanoke players, they would have been cutting towards them. And that's the difference. You can't sit there and wait for the ball. The defender knows where you are. You have to move around, elude your defender, and get open on the crease. And you've seen Mayberry do that all day.
Part of the reason he has 6. Guilford's offense averaging 10 goals a game. Their defense giving up 10.1 goals per game. Roanoke with 16, Guilford with 5 here at Kerr Stadium. Just 10 minutes to go in this ODAC matchup, the regular season finale for both teams. As trying to cut all the way in there was Clausen. He was checked from behind. The ball still sits free. Now Packo comes up with it. Packo will race ahead. He has his first career goal today. It's a 5-on-3. Packo for Jimmy McNeely. McNeely back for Packo. Steps in, shoots one. He sent it just wide.
Packo looking for his second tally of the game.
This possession will stay with the Maroons. Looks like they're going to bring out their second midfield unit as Nislek with it in the far alley. He's joined now by Kyle Smith and Will Carter. Smith sends it down the left wing alley for Nislek. Nislek goes down low for Guernsey. Behind the net now for Colin Rosano. To the near side, it's Chris Duran. Duran from the alley goes out for Carter. Out of the top for Kyle Smith. Roanoke has to be content to really just eat up as much of this clock as they can. Just let it run with 9 minutes to go here in the fourth. 11-goal lead.
That's what most teams would do, but I've never seen the Bruins slow down for more than the last 2 minutes or maybe the last minute of the fourth quarter if they're up by enough goals. I think they're going to still go hard for the next 6 or 7 minutes.
Or the next 10, who knows? As that pass comes all the way through for Guernsey, steps in and fires a save made. But we have a crease violation called here against Chris Duran. Possession will go back to Guilford. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Roanoke has locked up the number 2 seed in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. Lynchburg, the number 1. Guilford is eliminated from postseason contention with a 1-5 mark in the ODAC. They are locked in as number 7. All will not be partaking in the conference tournament. Roanoke will have a first-round bye in the quarterfinals, which are held a week from tonight. They'll be in action a week from Saturday, right here at Kerr Stadium in the ODAC semis. That bracket will be announced at the end of the week by the ODAC office. You can visit that at odaconline.com. All your information on the conference. You can also visit maroons.roanoke.edu for all of your Roanoke College athletic information. As a pass to the near side for Tellis. As Tellis steps in, faked a shot. Now pulls down as he looks things over. He's covered by Carter. Tellis steps to the inside, winds and bounces one. That one blocked in front off of Eric DeLong. Charlie Peace able to fight for it, and he comes away with it. Peace ahead now for Carter. Roanoke moving ahead in transition. As it's fed in the middle for Nislek. He was unable to handle the pass up high. Nislek up with the ground ball. Look towards the front, now turns back. Nislek walking down the near alley. As he gets a touch in the bottom corner as he's bumped. Nislek turns back away from traffic. Feeds it for Chris Duran. Back to the near corner. Bottom of the box for Nislek. Nislek for Duran. As you can see the Canadian flag in the background. Had a chance to talk to Rich Laughlin about that on Tuesday Night Live last night. You can check that out on the Maroons Vimeo channel. It's the third midfield unit out for the Maroons. Seth Fortman moves down the left wing as he gives it up for Guernsey. Behind the net now it's Colin Rosano. Rosano for Duran. Duran moving up the near side. Sends a pass out. It's taken by Will Merritt. Or rather Ryan Brewer. Now Merritt moving down the left side. Goes behind the net. Stalling call on. Roanoke has to keep it in. It's fed quickly out in front, an outside shot. Sent wide of the net as they feed it back to the near side. As Roanoke is just going to watch this one roll out. Pass comes out of the box. Possession will go back to Guilford.
Well, definitely not surprised on the keep it in, the delayed game call by the refs. They had it for a while, and as soon as they took that shot, that's the first shot they had taken in, 1 or 2 minutes.
There's Tellis coming down the near side. Gets a touch, feeds it out to the top. There by Henry Farley. As Farley goes on the right side now for Sisk. Sisk moving down the right wing. Stops behind the net. Comes up goal line extended. Covering the play by Seth Fortman. Sisk will go behind the net for Nash. DeLong still out. To keep an eye on Nash. Here with 6 minutes to go. As now a flag comes in. Guilford sends a pass out of the box. So we'll get the call. DeLong's going to go 60 seconds for slashing. Guilford will have a man-up opportunity with 5:55 to go. Here in the fourth quarter, they trail by 11.
Maroons did a great job in the first half of eliminating all their penalties. You know, the major difference I see between this game and the Randolph-Macon game. In the second half, though, I think they're letting themselves go a little bit, getting those few mistakes. There's 2 penalties from Hayden, penalty from DeLong.
It's fed about in front for a quick stick try. It looked like Peace had gotten a piece of it, but it goes in behind him anyway. Guilford has cut the lead back to 10 with a man-up tally.
We saw earlier Dean almost scored on himself as the ball, he was falling, the ball kind of fell in front of him, he knocked it in. Almost a similar situation right there with Peace. The ball almost bounced in the crease, and as he tried to go save it, it kind of just, with the spin, went towards the goal a little more, and he kind of hit it in. Unfortunate for both goalies in those goals.
Ashcraft getting the tally. This is 24th of the season as Satowski comes up with another ground ball. It's another face-off win for the Maroons. As Guernsey has it along the left side. After Stephen Mitchell came up with the ground ball for the face-off win, Roanoke tried to feed it back for Nislek at midfield. It got past him. Cooper Sturr will collect it in the defensive end for Roanoke. Give it for Nislek, who protects the stick. He's back across midfield. Now races down the left side. Keep it in, call still on. Nislek to the near side. Duran with a shot. He scores. A great find by Brendan Nislek. Nislek will get his 4th assist of the season on Duran's 7th tally of the year. That'll make it 17-6. Roanoke, 5:14 to go. Here in the fourth quarter.
Duran almost acting like a mini Reed Mayberry right there as he got open on the left side of the crease, wide open, and just a great feed in there. Roanoke as a whole has a great field awareness, seeing that open guy right in front of the crease and getting that goal.
Satowski comes up with another face-off one, kind of popped it up in the air to himself. He'll feed this one behind the net for Chad Smith. Smith goes up the far side for Spencer Parsons. Parsons out to the top for Will Merritt. Battle is back. Merritt steps in. Feeds it down the near wing. Roanoke sends it behind the net for Chad Smith. Now for Guernsey in the far alley. On the near side, it's Will Merritt. As Merritt goes down low. 4.5 to go. Guilford 6-8 on the season, 1-5 within the ODAC. Roanoke tied for number 9 in the nation. They're 10-3, 5-1 within ODAC play. As Chad Smith takes it behind the net. I imagine under 4 minutes we'll see the stalling call again come in from the officials. As with Roanoke's last goal, referees have to take that away because Roanoke did make an effort to go to the net. As Merritt dodges in from the near side. On the run with a shot and a kick save made on the play by Thomas Dean. Chad Smith over after. Will keep possession for the Maroons.
I tell you, Dean's had some crazy saves today. He's been playing really well. I mean, don't even look at the score. He's been keeping with it, not letting the score get to his head. So some great saves. Keating, top left shot earlier in the game. Great save.
That's the late call coming up. Merritt takes the shot. He sent it high. Merritt jumping from outside the box to catch the ball inside the box to keep play going. We'll get the call here coming up against Guilford. TJ, we saw Crawford in goal for Randolph-Macon on Saturday. He had more saves than goals he allowed, and he gave up 25 goals. That in itself was definitely something for Randolph-Macon to take away.
Yeah, both goalies, Dean and Crawford, did a good job at stopping some of the players. I mean, getting these great saves. Just Roanoke, so persistent, so many shots on goals. It's hard to save all of them.
As Roanoke, a backup man up here now. Duran with a shot. He sent that one wide. Looked like Dean may have gotten a piece of it. 3:34 to go in the fourth. As Guernsey will start with it from the left wing alley. Go for Chad Smith along the wing. Back down low, it's Guernsey. And Guernsey turns back, cycles it behind the net for Chad Smith. Smith looking things over, goes for Guernsey. Pass escaped him all the way out towards the top. That'll make its way over the midfield line. Hagen's bumping his man, who has managed to collect the ball in traffic. It's Ian Parker moving down the near side, protects the stick before he gives it up. Taken out by Austin West. West racing across the top, has help coming out of the box. Here with 3 minutes to go. Guilford will look to kill off the rest of their penalty. 2:50 left in the game clock. Roanoke up 17-6 here over Guilford at Donald J. Kerr. Stay with us for the postgame show. TJ and I will chat with Roanoke head coach Bill Pilot. Take a look back on our keys to the game. Ask him about this upcoming week and a half off. As Guilford turns low, back behind the net. Now it's fed all the way out to the top. An outside chance sent wide of the net out of the stick of Kyle Smith. Stops the clock at 2:28. His penalties have expired. Back to even strength. As in front with a quick shot, they score. It's Chase Clausen. As he was able to fight his way inside towards the crease. Clausen, the second leading point getter on Guilford behind only Greg Nash, gets his 22nd tally of the season.
Guilford College goal number 23, Chase Clausen.
Satowski and Newland will go down at the faceoff X. 2:20 left on the clock. Satowski's able to pop this one right up to himself. Feeds on the left side for Carter. Goes for Guernsey on the left side. As Guernsey feeds this one behind the net, taken by Duran along the near side. Duran for Carter. Under 2 minutes to go. Roanoke has to keep it in. As Carter races up the far side, turns and tried to throw that one on frame, sent high and wide. Minute 50 to go in this one. That's crossing over behind the net is Seth Fortman. Fell to the top now for Guernsey. Comes down to the near side. 100 seconds left. Now Seth Fortman is sitting with it in the bottom left corner of the box, looking things over. Fortman dodged towards the front and still holds with it behind. Still 1:20 to go. Fortman and Carter will trade places. Fortman, 28 and white, still with it. Obviously, stalling call still on with a lead in less than 2 minutes. Duran now comes up with it. After it was flipped for him. Duran tries to go to the front. An angle shot. A save made by Dean. Rebound chance by Guernsey. He rang that one wide as Dean was trying to recover in net. As he made that first save up off his helmet. And so get some time from the officials.
Such a quick rebound shot that Dean kind of fell to the floor to try and save it.
Looks like he's just trying to get out in front. Guernsey cranked that one wide.
It looks like Roanoke's running the 2-minute drill, and Guilford's not even really trying.
Guilford down by 10. 45 seconds left. As Carter still sitting with it along the far side of the box. Del Rey covering him. As he gives it up now for Seth Fortman. Under 30 seconds left to play. Guilford's season ending here at Kerr Stadium. Roanoke season put on hold for a week and a half. The first round bye in the ODAC tournament. They'll await their opponent. Playing the ODAC semifinals a week from Saturday. Roanoke wanted to go to the goal. Pilot told them to hold. Fortman sitting with it. 3 seconds, now 2-1. The horn sounds here at Donald J. Kerr Stadium, and the Maroons have defeated Guilford 17-7. Roanoke's record improving to 11-3. 6-1 overall as they finish the regular season with 11 wins, 6 coming in conference play. Guilford finishes their season 6-9, 1-6 in ODAC play. TJ and I will step aside. We'll be back with a postgame show. Chat with Roanoke head coach Bill Pilot. Go over our final statistics. We'll take a look back at our keys to the game. Get you set for a week and a half off. Women's lacrosse for Roanoke obviously in action this weekend. The men won't play for quite some time. We'll step aside. Be back with a postgame show coming up next. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio.
Smart and solid. Practical and professional. Making discoveries about yesterday. Creating visions for tomorrow. Lifted by a winning college spirit. Forging lifetime friendships with professors who prepare you for a place at the head of an operating table or another bright future. Roanoke College. Classic for tomorrow.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium, 17-7. The final score as Roanoke outscored Guilford 5-1 in the first quarter, 6-2 in the second, 4-2 in the third. The two teams tied at 2-2 in the fourth. Goal scoring for Guilford, Chris Ascraft and Ian Parker led the squad with 2 goals apiece, while Greg Nash, Teodosio, and Chase Clausen each finished with 1. Man at team high, 2 assists. For Roanoke, Reed Berry came within 1 of tying his career high that was set on Saturday. He finished with 6 goals, while Jeff Keating had 3. Rich Lonklin also with 3. Coretti, Duran, Kyle Smith, Michael Packow, and Chad Smith each added a goal for the Maroons. Jeff Keating with 5 assists in this one. Hayden with 4, while Coretti, DeLong, Dubois, and Nislik each added 1. Roanoke outshot Guilford 50-25, including 17-3 in the first quarter. That really set the pace for the remainder of this one. Roanoke won the ground ball battle 45-32, holding Guilford to just 1 ground ball in the fourth. Faceoffs were pretty close to even at halftime. Roanoke broke away in the second half, winning 10 of 13. They finished the game winning 19 of 28, leaving Guilford with just 9. And Guilford had some trouble clearing the ball, but all in all, not too bad. We've definitely seen worse this season. They were 14 of 17, advancing their possessions. Guilford, 3 of 4 on their man-up opportunities. Probably something that Coach Pilot can't be thrilled with, but I believe for at least one of those penalty kills, his man-down unit wasn't his standard. There were some underclassmen out there, and that'll kind of change up the dynamic. And Roanoke, 4 of 8 on the man-up opportunity, operating at 50%.
Yeah, I think Pilots can be upset with that statistic, too, also because they had 0 penalties in the first half. They ended up getting 3 in the third quarter and 1 in the fourth quarter. I mean, when you play that long without getting a penalty and you're doing all the right things and then you start messing up, I mean, I know Pilot's going to look at that second half and analyze it because he cannot afford 3 out of 4, the opponent's getting 3 out of 4 man-up opportunities in a game.
Guilford also turned the ball over 25 times to Roanoke's 15. The stats at halftime in that category were a little bit different, and it really gave Roanoke an edge at the half. As in the first half, Guilford turned the ball over 16 times, Roanoke just 7. The two teams really kept their same ratio in the second half. In goal for the Maroons, Mike Hardan played short of 20 minutes. He allowed 1 goal, no saves, while Charlie Peace allowed 6 goals, made 3 saves. Didn't see Gil Long in this one, I guess. Coaching staff wanted to give Charlie Peace some time, gear him up for the upcoming ODAC tournament. In net for Guilford, Thomas Dean allowed 17 goals while making 12 saves. At the faceoff X, Sam Newland, who has taken the vast majority of faceoffs for Guilford, won just 2 of 7, while Max Satowski finished with 15 faceoff wins in 19 chances, in addition to 11 ground balls. Joey Coretti found his way onto the stat sheet in his first game back from injury. He finished with a goal and an assist. We saw Littner really just in the second quarter. Didn't really see him much after that. We'll ask Coach Pilot to see how that worked out. If Littner just trying to get his shift and head off, get his feet wet again. Again, he has a week and a half to prepare. Be interesting to see, too, what Coach Pilot decides to do with a pretty big mixture now of guys on that back end. Between Paco, DeLong, Geary, Doobie, Pancoast, and now Littner. Really a pretty good luxury for Pilot, wouldn't you say?
I mean, Pilot's got a team where he can pretty much play, anyone and do really well. He's got to make big decisions on defense, in the goal, and on attack. As you said before, that there's 4 great attackmen now that Coretti's back. He's got all these defenders that could play, and he's got 2 goalies that could easily go and lead this team into the postseason.
We had talked about attack earlier on in the game. Reed Mayberry, with his 6 goals, now has 29, so he's 1 goal away from 30. When he gets there, the Maroons will have 4 attackmen with 30 goals. The likes of Keating, Lachlan, Mayberry, and Coretti. That has to be one of the best attack units in the conference, and definitely, they got to be up there in the nation with Roanoke being ranked number 9 overall. Keating was a first-team preseason All-American. Lachlan, an honorable mention selection, while Coretti and Mayberry have just kind of sat quietly. To really having solid seasons. Mayberry, I have to go back and check his stats. Boy, this pretty much his breakout year for the Maroons. TJ and I'll step aside. Be back with the Roanoke College Lacrosse postgame show. We'll go back, take a look at our keys to the game, see how they matched up, and get you set for some scores around the ODAC. Stay with us. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio. Welcome back to the Roanoke Lacrosse postgame show here on ESPN in Virginia. Taking a look at some stats from today. Washington and Lee defeated Greensboro 14-4. Christopher Newport over Hampton Sydney 8-7 in overtime. And your final here tonight, the only other game in the ODAC, Roanoke over Guilford 17-7. TJ, let's take a look back at our keys to the game. One was staying healthy. Roanoke needs to stay healthy. They've locked the number 2 seed in the ODAC tournament, so they definitely didn't want anybody getting hurt. We saw Parsons leave for a little bit. He came back. We saw Littner for a shift. He didn't come back. As far as we know, one of the things we'll talk to Coach Pilot about. He's on his way up right now. Our other key, playing in the rain. It looked like we saw some issues with it early on, but Roanoke was able to kind of start to get their feet under them, and that worked out all right.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there was a bunch of mistakes we could see easily that they weren't prepared with their mesh. It was a little off. Their throwing was a little off. They couldn't keep their footing. There's a couple times where players fell to the ground. And hopefully, I mean, thank God they didn't get hurt or anything, because you can roll ankle pretty easily on this turf. Just some other things. So rolling, the ball would roll out of the field a little easier. Some stuff that you have to consider when you're playing. You know, that was that one offsides call where he thought he could stop before the midfield line, and he just went right on over because you don't have that 2 or 3 extra steps in the rain on the turf.
Our third and final key was going to be the freshmen and the depth, trying to get them involved, knowing that they have the seed locked up, kind of wanting to keep everybody rolling, but at the same time, you don't want to risk an injury.
Well, yeah, we had 2 freshman attackmen tally today. Chad Smith had 1 tally, and Chris Duran had 1 tally. I mean, that's good to see some freshmen getting out there, getting some tallies out there, being able to adapt to this college play, which is completely different from high school. It's so much faster, and it's hard to adapt to that, and it's good to see that they're adapting pretty well.
Those are your keys to the game. Looks like we didn't do as good tonight as we have been doing, but hopefully we'll get our stuff together for the ODAC semifinals. I'll be right back with Roanoke head coach Bill Pilot. This is the Roanoke Lacrosse postgame show on 1240 AM ESPN in Virginia. Welcome back to Kerr Stadium in Salem, Virginia, campus of Roanoke College. I'm joined now by Roanoke Lacrosse head coach Bill Pilot. Coach, thanks so much for coming up. Your team, a 10-goal victory over Guilford. This the ending of the regular season. You guys have the number 2 seed locked down in the tournament. How do you feel about heading into the postseason on this note?
I think it's good. You know, a lot of guys got to play and contribute, which is great. And I thought the boys played pretty well. I thought we did pretty well on the ground balls, and face-offs were a nice plus for us, which is something we've been working pretty hard on. So overall, feel pretty good. It's nice to have 11 wins. It's a pretty good accomplishment for the boys, and also our seniors go out with only having 1 loss in 4 years in the ODAC. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Reed Mayberry had another great game, 7 goals on Saturday, 6 goals today. So 13 over his last 2 games. it looks like you either have a really easy decision to make or a really tough decision on what you're going to do with 4 attackmen with 30 goals up front.
That's great. We like to do that. We like to have guys contribute, and Reed's really come on strong in April. We're really happy with where he's at right now. He's going to be a force for some teams to reckon with.
And I guess you have a week and a half really to kind of play with it in practice. Do you stick with who's hot now, or do you stick with history?
Well, we'll just do what we got to do. I mean, we'll find a way to get those boys out there. That's a good problem you want to have. And, Coretti's back now, and he had a nice game 1-1. And, he was scoring 6 goals at a clip before. Now it's Reed's turn. So we'll go with the hot hand as long as possible.
On the assist category, Keating's been handing them out. He had, 5 Saturday? He has 5 today. En route to an 8-point game when he had a 9-point game on Saturday. It looks like everybody's really starting to click and get hot at just the right time.
Well, that's the plan. We try to do that if we can. And we were able to do that last year, and I thought we did it the year before, and I thought we did it the year before that for the most part. And that's what we want to do. We're still a fairly young team, and we got a lot to learn, but I'm real happy with what the team has been able to do. And, we haven't lost since 6 games, I think it is now, and that was way back at Lynchburg. So we've got some tough games coming up ahead, but hopefully we'll be ready to go.
Team's winning streak at the moment at 7 games. They win the night, haven't lost since March 17th. Right here at home against number 6, now number 3, Lynchburg. Taking a look at the turnover numbers, your team was really able to force the issue with Guilford. Look at the clear. I mean, they failed on 5 of them. Aggressive ride, weather. What do you think really factored into that?
Well, we've been riding pretty well all year, and that was something we stress in practice. And, keeping them from clearing the ball is a big thing for us. And then the turnovers, too. We only had 15, it looks like, and that's a pretty good number for us, especially the way we play up and down the field. We generally have more turnovers than a lot of other teams because we're pushing the pace. So 15 is pretty darn good. So we're happy with both those numbers.
Guilford capitalized on 3 of their 4 extra man opportunities. Is that a number that concerns you at all?
Yeah, we're not happy with that. But Guilford has a pretty good man up, so I thought they did a nice job. And I thought our goalies might have made a few more saves there to help us. And then the couple were inside. They just did a nice job redirecting the ball and finding the open man.
The team has a bye in the ODAC quarterfinals, which are a week from tonight, next Wednesday. Next game not for a week and a half. Exams starting up early next week for your student athletes. What's the game plan like heading into the next 10 days?
Well, we'll take tomorrow off, Thursday, and then Friday we'll go a little bit. Saturday we'll go. Basically, we're going to go 2 days of practice and 1 day off until we play the game. So we got a nice little schedule set up, and we'll get to scout our opponent, which is a plus. We'll go over to Hampton Sydney. They're in 3rd place, and they're going to play the 6th place team yet to be determined. So we'll go scout that game on Wednesday, and we'll just take it slow and try to heal some guys up and also work on some things. We're going to put some new stuff in. We always do that for the tournament, so that's kind of our calling card, and we'll be ready for that too. So we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to catching our breath. It's been a long trek with these ODAC games, tough opponents, so we need a little rest too.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on the win. Best of luck down the stretch.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us from Kerr Stadium tonight. Your final score here in Salem, Roanoke defeats Guilford 17-7. We'll be back with you a week from Saturday, the 28th of April, as Maroons will host the ODAC semifinals right here, as you heard Coach Pilot mention, Hampton Sydney, or the number 6 seed, which is still yet to be determined. Thanks to Roanoke College Sports Information Director Brad Moore, our friends back in the ESPN in Virginia studio, and Reed Hall, our technical director, up here in the press box. For TJ Kemper, I'm Nick DeSanctis. So long from Salem.